I'm Chase Sr., and here's what we have coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Birds have a new secret weapon on the offensive side of the football. We're going to dive into some Eagles injury news as they prepare to take on the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. Philadelphia has never won in Cincinnati, has not beaten the Bengals since 2000, and in their last 5 matchups, 2 games have been decided in overtime by way of a tie. So a weird and wacky history between these two teams. And then lastly, is Jalen Hurts hurting the Eagles' passing game? All of that is coming your way right now. First, thank you so much to all of the real ones for supporting the show and getting us past 88,000 subscribers. And if you're unfamiliar with our content, we've done so much stuff, and we hit a plethora of different subject matters right here on the channel. For instance, this week, we did a recap of Sunday's win on Monday, how the young defenders for this Eagles team are balling out, and how it looks as though Howie Roseman might be building a really good defensive unit with some of his recent draft picks. We dove into some Eagles roster moves. We talked Eagles trade buzz, and still to come, up until Sunday in the lead up to this Bengals game, a Cincinnati Bengals preview, and we'll be doing a watch party for this game on Sunday as we will be live an hour before kickoff. Hit that subscribe button. You'll really enjoy our coverage. I know that you will. As for the Philadelphia Eagles' new secret weapon, the Birds have a fullback, and it's not a traditional fullback. It is linebacker and special teams maven Ben VanSumeren. If you're unfamiliar with him, he is a second-year linebacker out of Michigan State. He signed with Philadelphia as a UDFA. He's primarily been used as a special teams player for special teams coordinator Michael Clay, and he has performed very well in that role, but he does wear the number 57, and the Eagles against the Giants really debuted him and unveiled him as a fullback. But since he wears number 57, he has to report on every play as an eligible player before every snap. He did say after that Giants win, in which he had a couple of great blocks, and we'll show you one specific play, that does get old, but he does have an offensive background, and he's really relishing the opportunity to be versatile, be used in a couple of different ways, and be an impact player for this Eagles squad. He got his first offensive snap against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in Week 4 during that Philadelphia blowout loss. But then against the Giants, he played 5 offensive snaps at that fullback position. He made some really critical blocks. And moving forward, is Ben VanSumeren, the fullback, going to be a staple on this offense? There are a couple of teams notably who utilize a fullback across the NFL. Kyle Juszczyk with the San Francisco 49ers, the Baltimore Ravens have a fullback as well. Could VanSumeren be another one? I want to specifically look at this play right here because it came when the game was close and it led to a massive Saquon Barkley run. And as I step aside here, you see Ben VanSumeren circled in red, lined up in kind of a split eye look as the fullback here, and Saquon Barkley the lone tailback. And look at that. Jalen Hurts under center. We haven't seen that a lot. And on this play, you will see that VanSumeren with a great seal block, which then led to a monster play and run from Saquon Barkley. VanSumeren, from that split eye look, kind of gets to that second level and lays a huge block here off that backside. And then Saquon Barkley has a running lane here in which he is clearly looking at. He exploits it. He bursts through. And you know what this is? Real estate. That is my note here on the scribble because there is so much grass, in this case at MetLife Stadium, so much turf in front of him. And that play sparked a huge drive and a huge play for Philadelphia as they went from right around their 5-yard line to just around midfield. And of course, you know what I put there as well? Yeah, buddy. A fullback laying a big block, which leads to a monster splash run. That's got me feeling nicey. And in high school, Ben VanSumeren was a star receiver and offensive player. He actually went to Michigan to start his college career as an offensive player, and then he transferred to Michigan State, and when he did that, he switched to playing linebacker. The physicality, the instincts, the athleticism, you see that on both sides of the ball for Ben VanSumeren. Now, here's what the Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore had to say about the utilization of VanSumeren as a fullback. I think it's just a collective group decision. Sometimes as you go through training camp and stuff, sometimes guys on offense have to help the defense, and the defense has to help the offense just to show different looks and lineup and presentations. Him just kind of unintentionally lining up on offense to aid the defense gave us the look of, hey, this guy has got some athleticism, and obviously it kind of just kept building as we went, so we'll see where it takes us. Every week you're trying to find out what gives us the best opportunity to be successful, and felt like that gave us an opportunity this past week, and he did an excellent job. His effort in the run game, he had the juice and the energy going, and I think it was a real benefit to us. So with that, I pop up today's poll question here. Do you like the utilization of a fullback for the Eagles? This is old school, rugged, bring your lunch pail to work, physical football that we embrace and like in this city. So type L for you like the utilization of a fullback. D for dislike. There was also a story of how he ran a route on safety Andre Sam, a UDFA safety out of LSU. And Andre Sam was like, dude, this guy can run routes. And that gave the Eagles an indication that they can use VanSumeren on the offensive side of the football. So that's some conversation about this new Eagle secret weapon. We are doing our watch party, and Peter Thurman, a Real One viewer here on the program, mentioned in the comment section, you see who's playing fullback? And so we saw it at the time, then I went back, watched the tape, obviously as we showed you, and VanSumeren actually played very, very well at that fullback spot. So that was topic number one. Topic number two, still to come, Eagles injury news going up against the Bengals, and is Jalen Hurts hurting the pass game? We're going to do an in-depth look at some of his numbers. But before we do that, want to welcome a brand new sponsor on board here under the Chat Sports umbrella. That is DraftKings. Myself and producer Chip. We also have a Philadelphia 76ers channel as we both grew up in the Philadelphia area, and we are 4for4 Philadelphia diehards. So what you'll see with our DraftKings sponsorship, the promo code is SixersChat because we also use that code on our Sixers channel. If you bet $5, you get $200 instantly in bonus bets. This is the best sports book in the game, and a lot of you in Pennsylvania already know that. If you don't, here's some more info. NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets that you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time, new DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code SixersChat. That's code SixersChat for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers did lose their season opener against the Milwaukee Bucks. They were shorthanded at home without Joel Embiid and Paul George. They are progressing well, though, coming back from their respective injuries, and the Joel Embiid individualized program is what the Sixers are calling it. But game number two, Sixers-Raptors. Here are producer Chip's picks. 76ers -4. Raptors aren't good. They should be able to win this game. And he likes the under at 107.5, and the 76ers race to 10. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook, promo code SixersChat. We appreciate them for making today's show possible. As for the Eagles injury report, these players did not participate in practice on Wednesday. Linebacker Zack Baun nursing a shoulder injury. Mekhi Becton still in concussion protocol. He suffered that injury last week in that win at MetLife Stadium. He said bad things happen in MetLife. He got injured once again at MetLife Stadium, did the former Jet. Tight end Dallas Goedert, hamstring injury. Jeff McLean had reported at the time he was going to be out a couple of games. Hamstring injury sounds about right. And defensive tackle Byron Young not practicing also because of a hamstring injury. These 5 players, limited participants. Running back Saquon Barkley, rest. Important to do that. He's been utilized a lot, but he's probably been the NFL Offensive Player of the Year going into Week 8. Defensive end Brandon Graham. He's an old wily veteran. Rest year 15. He needs that a little bit. Maintenance day for the vet. Cornerback Eli Ricks, groin. Cornerback Darius Slay, rest. Josh Sweat, rest. So the Eagles opting to give some of their well-used and often-used veterans with some rest days. Full participants. Tight end Albert Okwuegbunam without Dallas Goedert in the lineup. Will he see some time? Will he see some snaps? We'll see. Core muscle surgery right after training camp and then the preseason. Abdomen injury there. Wide receiver Ainias Smith, draft pick for Philadelphia, ankle. And then, of course, Eagles, Bengals coming up on Sunday. Can't wait to see you for our watch party. We'll be live an hour before kickoff as the show kicks off at 12 p.m. Eastern. And what would that be? 9 a.m. Pacific. Failed elementary algebra at Temple University. Sometimes I struggle with numbers. All right. And speaking of injuries here, I do want to give a shout out to Tyler Steen, the former third-round pick from last year out of Alabama, and before that, Vanderbilt. He played primarily left tackle while in college. And then the Eagles drafted him as a guard. Last year, limited action. He really struggled. And then Mekhi Becton beat him out in training camp and in the preseason to be the team's starting right guard because Tyler Steen was struggling and he was also dealing with a problematic ankle injury. But for a former third-round pick who didn't get off to a great start, when he's had to fill in this year, he has performed very well, and we have to give him his props. Pro Football Focus pass blocking grade of 79.4. That is very good to elite. Now, the run blocking grade, overall grade, not as high as that. 56 in run blocking, 59.4 overall. That's like right below league average, but the pass blocking grade, that's the most difficult thing to do, and he's done very well in that category. What he's also done very well with in 116 snaps, most of them coming at right guard, some at left guard, he's only committed 1 penalty, he's only given up 1 sack, he's only given up 1 hit, pressures allowed only 2. So going into the year, offensive line depth was a concern for Philadelphia. Tyler Steen is helping to boost that offensive line depth. Shout out to the former third-round pick. Lastly here on the show, is Jalen Hurts hurting the Eagles' passing game? All throughout this year, even though the Birds are 4-2 going into the Sunday matchup against the Bengals, Philadelphia has not been consistent in throwing the football efficiently. And here's what Greg Cosell said, who's one of the best analysts at breaking down tape about Hurts and this Eagles offense. They're a difficult offense to watch right now. Jalen Hurts is not playing very good football. He's just not seeing things clearly right now. That really handicaps and hamstrings your offense when your quarterback just can't execute basic concepts. That last line there of Hurts not being able to execute basic concepts and him not seeing the field clearly, those are red flags. And did Greg Cosell say anything wrong there? No, he didn't. Hurts, since the 10-1 start to last year, and even during that good beginning to the season, wasn't seeing the field clearly. That's why he was holding onto the ball a little bit too long. He was playing like a quarterback who wasn't trusting his eyes, wasn't trusting what he was seeing, and he was very indecisive. And this year, you have seen Hurts miss throws, misreads, hold on to the ball long. That's why he's gotten sacked. And when there's pressure, sometimes he's quick to bail out of the pocket, and he hasn't been a consistent and efficient thrower of the football. And that's why this aerial attack for Philadelphia has been very spotty. And the numbers back that up. Hurts so far in 2024, among all quarterbacks, he is 21st in passing yards, 6th in danger plays, so he's put the ball in harm's way a lot, as we know. He is 11th in yards per attempt, 8th in true completion percentage, 14th in true passer rating. His deep ball completion rate is 29th, but I do think that he throws one of the best long balls in the NFL. His pressured completion rate is 18th. His receiver target separation is not good. It's 34th in the NFL. So Kellen Moore has to do a better job of scheming up plays to make Hurts' job easier so that a lot of his throws aren't so taxing. But Hurts also is 6th in QBR and 9th in EPA. When it comes to total yards and total touchdowns, Hurts is very, very productive. But in some key metrics, as far as the quarterback position goes, he is lacking. And so there is some good and there is some bad there. But our eyes haven't really lied to us, as I like to say, because we've been frustrated a lot with this Eagles passing game. We're like, why aren't they better with so many weapons? And Hurts plays a role in that. The good that we've seen the last 2 games, Jalen Hurts has not turned the football over. And Philadelphia, very difficult to beat when he doesn't turn the rock over. The bad, he's going to need to throw it better, and Philadelphia will have to have more success through the air in order to win big and realistically compete for a Super Bowl. And let's go game by game in looking at Hurts' passing chart. Week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, 20 of 34, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. You see a lot of his throws were on the left side of the field. And a constant theme as we look at these spray charts, for whatever reason, either Kellen Moore is not designing or calling plays for the middle of the field, or Hurts isn't throwing it there. That can be because he's shorter, he doesn't trust his arm, he's not seeing the middle of the field, and he's afraid to put the ball into harm's way. But you're really limiting yourself if you're just targeting outside of the numbers and outside of the hashes, and you betray the middle of the field. The next game against Atlanta in week 2, 23 of 30, 183 yards, a touchdown and a pick. He did throw that long touchdown down the middle of the field, and here you see him spreading the football out. Those green dots are completions, and really he's using the entire field to his advantage. Then you go, what is this, week 3 against the New Orleans Saints, 29 of 38, 311 yards. This is when Dallas Goedert absolutely popped off, and Hurts had a ton of success here, targeting both sides of the field, short, intermediate, long. That's a good sign. Against the Buccaneers, not good at all. Explosive plays weren't there. A.J. Brown did not play. Hurts did throw that 1 touchdown to Paris Campbell, but you don't like to see everything so limited within about 15 yards of the line of scrimmage. And then the following game against the Cleveland Browns, Hurts 16 of 25, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Again, he's kind of neglecting the middle area of the field here. A lot of the completions to the right side, the long ball to A.J. Brown on that left side, it was a really good throw. And then last week, you're without Jordan Mailata, Dallas Goedert. The Eagles' plan all the way was to run the football. So Hurts only threw it 14 times, but only one of those throws over the middle of the field, and a lot of his tosses in all of these games, as we've seen, are toward the sideline. You're just limiting yourself as an offense and as a quarterback when you're not using the entire field to your advantage and not stretching the defense thin, sideline to sideline and vertically. So, what is your level of concern with Jalen Hurts? Scale it for me from 1 to 100. Be real with me. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Can't wait to see you live on Sunday. Plenty of coverage in the lead up to that ball game as well.